is what they call, and it goes back to antiquity, to the ancient times, what they call esoteric and exoteric. This method was used by the small minority that wanted to control the masses. So what's happening today has been happening since antiquity, since the ancient times, where there's an esoteric small group that knows certain knowledge, hidden inside knowledge, that is not shared with the masses, what they call in the ancient times in Hebrew, the goyim. It's not shared with the masses. What the masses get is the opposite. There it is in pure occult fashion, the inverse of what's happening on the inside. And this is very much what makes up the Roman Catholic Church. There is an esoteric teaching that is a contradiction to what the masses are getting. So the inside of Roman Catholicism is something we're going to get into. I'm going to explain to you what it is. And the outside is what we call Roman Catholicism. And it's very important that you understand, if you are involved in Roman Catholicism, if you have been a Roman Catholic through your generations, through your parents were, your grandparents, great-grandparents, and you're like a fourth, fifth generation Roman Catholic, if you are a practicing Roman Catholic, your heart is probably very pure. You have a sincere heart towards God for truth. You love truth. You love the Lord Jesus Christ. And you are passionate and sincere. But you might be caught up in a system that is not. Interestingly enough, Jesus actually also used the method of esoteric, exoteric. They, which is very much the Antichrist system, they, like I said, they teach an esoteric, they hold to an esoteric truths or secrets, and it's what they reveal to the exoteric, to the outer, to the masses, to the goyim, is a contradiction to what is going on the inside. Jesus used the same principle, but what Jesus taught his close disciples, we know that he had a most inner circle, Peter, James, and John, which he took to the mountain of transfiguration. They saw the glorified Jesus in his glorified, state. And then he had the 12, and then he had the greater disciples that followed him. He even said himself, to them I speak in parables, but to you I speak plainly, the mysteries of the kingdom. But the difference with Jesus, although he used the method of exoteric, esoteric, what he taught to the esoteric, to the inner circle, is the same truth he taught to the outer circle, but just in a different way. He approached them with their truth in a very different way. That's why he said, I use parables. To them I speak parables, but to you I speak plainly. So Jesus spoke the same truth esoterically as to what he spoke exoterically. And that is the very difference between what Jesus taught, how Jesus used the method, and how the Antichrist system uses the method. It's all based on hypocrisy. Everything looks nice and pretty and holy on the outside, but on the inside, it's full of dead men's bones, as Jesus said. Lucifer will appear as an angel of light. The thesis is an intellectual proposition. The antithesis is simply the negation of the thesis, a reaction to the proposition. The synthesis solves the confliction between the thesis and the antithesis by reconciling their common truths and forming a new proposition. So what happens is we need to create chaos. So we establish a Jesuit order, a counter-reformation to establish chaos. And then what happens is, in the midst of the chaos, we present a solution, and then out steps the Pope in his white and says, unity, come back to me. That is what it's all about. That is what it has been all about from the beginning, from antiquity. Black, white, good cop, bad cop. Let's fly planes into two towers in New York, create chaos. Let's create a regime, a religious order, Islam, as an agent, as a tool to create chaos. The black block of the chessboard, create the chaos, and then we bring in the white, the peace, the professor of peace, the papal order, the Pope, to bring reconciliation. And there we even see evidence through the news and the newspapers of the Pope kissing or bowing down to Islamic leaders. Guys, they are all involved in the same thing here. It's the same thing. Thesis, antithesis, and then the synthesis to solve the conflict between the good and the bad, the white and the black.